Oh. Good morning. Honestly, good morning, but I can't even wake up. This is rough. This is absolutely exhausting, more so than I want to admit. Friday morning. Friday, May 24th. We have a week left in the month of May. Today's going to be our last day here in Albany, New York. The past few days have been pretty rough. We got our stats though. 178 miles for $104 on Monday. 130 miles for $118 on Tuesday. 96 miles for $128 on Wednesday, and then 122 miles for $152 on Thursday. Well under $1 a mile. It's not great, guys. It hasn't been a good month. It hasn't been a good. It's been stressful. Long hours, long miles, long days. We got a week left in the month, and I promised I was going to do a month to month. Like we do our weeklies too. We get our weekly coming up on Sunday. We're going to break down all our profits and expenses. But at the end of the month, I want to compare it to April to May. What we did different. Difference being the tier program. And moving from just being a cherry picker who we averaged between a 4 and a 10% acceptance rate, multi-apping, moving to Platinum Dash. Still trying to multi-app here where we can, but trying to maintain the Platinum Dasher status and Top Dasher status so we can dash now wherever we want and be taking some of those less productive orders. And with a week left in the month, I'm just looking at our stats here. I'll put some of the big ones up on screen for you. But with a week left, we've already driven 900 miles more than we did last month. With a week left, we've almost spent $200 more on gas than we did last month. With a week left, we've already worked 20 more hours than we did last month. But we're on pace. I shit you not. We're on pace to net and gross the same amount of money as we did last month. So that's my call out to this tier program and Platinum Dasher status. And, a couple weeks ago, I debated Pedro, Mr. Bet on You. This is my call out to you. You said Platinum Dashers were going to make more money. And I said Platinum Dashers might make more money, but they're going to profit less. And it's not even close, dude. And I've got the data to back it up. The DoorDash tier program, and things will settle down. We know this. It's not. This isn't DoorDash is dying. This isn't the market's unsustainable. This isn't the end of the world. This is a new paradigm, a new shift, and people need to adapt and adjust to it until we can figure out how to make it work. But man, we're gonna lose a lot of people and a lot of dashers, and especially the part-timers who aren't going to be able to keep up the metrics. And it's going to... Who's going to fill that gap and fill that void? It's going to be the migrants. And I don't believe that the migrants are the problem with DoorDash. I don't believe that your typical Indian running 3 phones and multi-apping and with 4 dudes in 1 car is the problem with DoorDash. But we're going to start seeing more and more problems with DoorDash, and they're going to be the only people DoorDashing. So people are good. It's fuel to the fire. And I feel like this is intentional. We know if you do listen to DoorDash's earnings calls and their quarterly calls with their investors, and reducing Dasher pay is Like, that's an incentive for them. They want to get dasher pay down. They want to figure out how to have less money out of their profit line going to the individual dashers and drivers each month. The answer is tipping. The answer is for them to stop calling it a tip, call it a bid, and like actually educate their customers on how we're paid. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to take the fight of tipping culture head on, so they won't do it. So we're going to continue to get shafted. I haven't earn my time to make any money because less than 10% of people in major city markets want to tip at all. We're seeing a shift from $2 a mile pretty consistently month to month, with $25 an hour pretty consistently month to month, with $20 net after gas expenses, to now seeing $1 a mile, $19 an hour gross, and $16 an hour net. That's we're seeing about a $7 an hour drop in earnings month to month in this new tier program, and we're compensating by working a lot more, driving a lot more, putting a lot more miles on the vehicle, a lot more stress on the vehicle, a lot more stress on the body, a lot more stress on the mind. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy for anybody. It's not healthy for the vehicle. It's going to lead to more expensive repairs long term. It's going to lead to more expensive vehicle maintenance long term, which is going to hurt that bottom line even harder. And these are things we need to think about. So, like, yeah, I might end up making a little bit more money this month than I did last month. But my profits are significantly less. And until DoorDash wants to correct how they view the problem is not dasher pay, the problem is dasher profits. Until DoorDash wants to acknowledge that they, as the educating entity, can take steps to educate their customer base about the value of tipping and how to, and we know they do it because we've all seen the warning screens like, hey, if you don't tip, your order might take a while to get to you. Sorry, but DoorDash could stop calling it a tip. They could call it a bid and say, hey, if you don't place a bid, your order's not getting delivered. Sorry, bottom of the queue. We're not even going to offer it until there's no more. If DoorDash prioritizes the orders they offer based on the cost as well, like I'm prioritized for high-paying orders. So if I'm prioritized to see high-paying orders, why am I still seeing $4 for 11-mile orders at all? DoorDash should just stop offering those orders. DoorDash should punish the customer and say, hey, we'll get your order out to a dasher when the queue clears up. But in the meantime, we know you only bid $2 for that 11-mile order. Somebody else bid $8 for their 3-mile orders, and we're going to put that one up first for them because we care about our dashers too. That fixed everything right there. Because it's not a bid. We all know this. But it's an education issue. It's an issue with tipping culture. And yeah, tipping culture has gotten way out of hand with every POS, point of sale service system. The grocery store wants tips. The car wash wants tips. Everything turns around for how much tip. Tipping culture has gotten way out of hand, but service industry and delivery industry, that's where tipping has always been. We've always relied on tips. My first delivery job was when I was in high school. I worked at a Domino's. I made $2.65 an hour plus tips. I made really good money. At $2.65 an hour, I made really good money. I also remember gas was $1.25 a gallon back then. But what can you do? We'll move on. least your program sucked as much for you as your income gone down, or have you just been killing it as a top dasher? Or are you still cherry picking? Who knows? And if you want to support us, keep us on the road, keep the little one happy, keep her crazy, head on over to patreon.com/America. Again, that's patreon.com/America. Today, you can help keep us full of gas, keep us full of books, and keep us on the road. Until next time, though, see y'all.